Jesus Christ.
So good morning once again, my sisters and brothers. If you're following our reading, and of course, I suppose you are, actually it's very intense because it is the time where Elijah wanted to show them, to prove them that our God is indeed a real God, an existing God. And he wanted God to be present in front of the prophets of Baal. And how he did that? By calling on to God, and God sent fire to burn the offering. Probably in the heart of Elijah, see, our God is here. My God will not abandon me in this time of trials and difficulties. He was not only a mouthpiece as a prophet, but also served as an intercessor, meaning to say that he can ask God and God will listen to him for his own favor and for the favor of the people he represents. And so that's what happened. The offering was burned. Elijah was triumphant in calling God, and God made himself present by burning the offering. On the other side of the reading is Jesus. Jesus, who is more than Elijah, more than the prophets, because he doesn't only represent, but indeed he is God in our midst. Though more likely there's a controversy going on because people see Jesus as something who is, or somebody who is a violator of what they considered as most important in their not only religion, but being a people of God. Why? Because true to many, when people come together, people gathered together, later on, nagkakaroon na yan ng mga rules and regulations, laws. Gaya dito sa amin sa seminary, nung magka-pandemic, suddenly nagkaroon ng mga dapat sundin. Later on, we are asking why. What's the purpose? Sinong papapasukin? Sinong hindi papapasukin? Pagbibili ng gamot? Sinong bibili ng gamot? Sinong bibili ng mga supplies natin? Ano ba dapat? Naka-face mask? Walang face mask pag nasa loob? Even yung mga seminarians, pagdating, they have to undergo quarantine for 14 days. And even yung pagtuturo namin dito sa seminaryo, o yung mga na-quarantine na nandito, yung mga taga-ibang congregations nasa labas. And for the purpose of protecting ourselves. And Jesus reminded the people that yes, indeed, there is a set of law, commandments given to us. And for what purpose? Ito ba ay para lang masayahan, maligayahan ang Diyos? Or as we see it, it is more of God's love, God's concern to all of us, to reach our ultimate goal of having God, and that is to be with Him. It is not only to serve people, as we have experienced. May mga batas tayo na it serves more of those who are protecting the law rather than those who are following the law. But if you notice that the law of God is not only for God's satisfaction, but it is for us, human beings. And that's what Jesus wanted to fulfill. That's why He said that He did not come to abolish the law. He comes, or He came to fulfill it. To fulfill the law so that we can have the life that He has promised. In John, it says that He came, no, so that we may have life in its fullness. And that is why He gives a picture of the law, not like a stone hanged in our neck or a burden that we have to carry, but rather He wants to give us the picture of the law as our guide to attain the purpose of our life with God. Not God-slave relationship, not a master-servant relationship, but a God and His children relationship. And so let us reflect on what God has given us. Maybe at times we see it as very difficult to follow, very difficult to accomplish, especially that the law also contains rules and regulations how to fulfill it. Probably it's time that we see it as set of commandments that serves its purpose of bringing us closer to God and fulfilling what God has promised us. That is life in its fullness with Him. You know, when I was young, I have an auntie who has this very big plate. Yung plate is a souvenir plate where the 10 Commandments of God were written. And I asked her, sabi ko, can I use that for eating? And she said, no, that is something sacred. That is something that you have to put on a pedestal. Probably the people also have that in mind, that the commandments of God is something that we just have to look at rather than fulfill its true purpose. The true purpose which Jesus summarized as the greatest: loving God above all and loving ourselves or loving others as we love ourselves. And so let us fulfill the commandments of God. Let us follow what Jesus teaches us. And later on, we will be considered as the greatest in the kingdom of heaven. As I said, not only slaves or servants, but true children of God.